Mat Armstrong's garage isn't just a collection of fast cars. It's a battlefield where wrecks get reborn, rules get broken, and the ordinary gets obliterated. Every car tells a story, and none of them come out clean or quiet. Let's dive into the chaos. Let's start with one of the most impressive additions to Mat Armstrong's newly built garage, the Porsche GT3 RS MR. This isn't just your average GT3 RS. This one's been through the full Mat Armstrong treatment, and it's now sitting pretty as the most recent finished build in his lineup. And yeah, it's staying. No flips, no auctions, just pure, unapologetic track-spec glory parked at home. Now, if you're familiar with Mat's style, you already know he doesn't do things halfway. This GT3 RS started life as a bit of a transatlantic hybrid. It's built with American parts but wrapped in a German shell, which is kind of poetic when you think about it. The GT3 RS is already a precision-engineered monster straight from Stuttgart, but of course, Mat had bigger plans. And that's where the Manthey racing kit comes in. If you're not familiar with Manthey racing, think of it as the go-to for turning an already blisteringly fast Porsche into something almost untouchable on a track. It's like Porsche turned up to 11. The aero upgrades, the suspension tweaks, and all those subtle changes that add up to one wildly capable machine. They're all present on this build. And Mat didn't just bolt it on and call it a day. He did what he always does. Took it apart, rebuilt it, personalized it, and gave it that signature edge. What makes this car even cooler is that it's left-hand drive. That might seem like a small detail, but in the UK, it definitely stands out. It tells you this isn't just another local purchase. It's a special import, handpicked and rebuilt with purpose. And despite the hours, money, and probably a few frustrating moments that went into the build, Mat's not letting this one go. It's officially a keeper. That says a lot considering how often his builds move in and out of the garage. So now it sits there, among the other wild creations, each one with its own story, but the GT3 RS MR holds its own. It's a perfect example of what happens when you combine Mat's relentless drive to build something better with a car that's already legendary. It's aggressive, it's clean, and it's properly sorted. Honestly, if you were to pick just one car from his collection that screams, "This is what I'm about," the GT3 RS MR would be a strong contender. Now let's shift over to the Porsche GT3, the one that's often overshadowed by the wild GT3 RS MR, but definitely deserves its own spotlight in Mat Armstrong's garage. At first glance, it might seem like the more normal sibling, but if you've been following Mat's journey, you'll know there's a bit more to this one than meets the eye. This GT3 has had a full respray, so right off the bat, it's already been given a fresh lease on life. Mat's not the type to keep paintwork looking tired, especially when the car underneath is as special as this. And while it doesn't wear the full Manthey racing kit like the RS, it still has a presence. Performance-wise, the GT3 naturally sits just a notch below the RS. It's quieter, sure, but let's not pretend that means tame. Quieter in GT3 terms still means you'll hear that engine sing when you push it. It's just a different kind of experience. More refined in some ways, maybe a little more usable day-to-day, but still sharp enough to remind you it's bred for the track. What's really interesting is how Mat originally thought he'd sell this one. I mean, when you've got a full-blown GT3 RS MR in the garage, it makes sense to question whether you need the standard GT3 hanging around too. But after spending more time behind the wheel, that idea started to change. Turns out, the GT3 delivers a different enough driving experience to justify keeping both. And that says a lot, because Mat's not sentimental about his builds. If something doesn't earn its place, it goes. So now, the GT3 stays. Not because it's louder or flashier, but because it carves out its own space in the garage. It's the kind of car that grows on you. Next, let's talk about one of the most iconic and downright emotional builds in Mat Armstrong's garage, the Lamborghini Murciélago. Specifically, the 2002 model with a manual gearbox and that glorious, naturally aspirated V12. In Mat's own words, this isn't just any Lamborghini. This is the best car Lamborghini has ever made. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that when you look at what this car represents, especially in the context of his journey. The Murciélago isn't just special because of what it is. It's special because of what it was when he got it. This thing wasn't just rough around the edges, it was borderline unsalvageable. We're talking crash damage, flood damage, the whole nightmare package. Most people would have taken one look and walked away. But of course, that's not Mat. Instead, he saw the potential and made it a mission to bring the car back, piece by piece, into something worthy of its original glory. And then some. Now that it's fully rebuilt, it's not just a showpiece. This car's a symbol, the kind of project that tests your patience, skill, and sheer willpower. And the payoff? A properly raw, old-school Lamborghini experience. No paddles, no filters. Just a gated shifter, a thumping V12, and that unmistakable wedge-shaped body that makes absolutely no attempt to be subtle. Next is a car that perfectly sums up Mat Armstrong's brand of chaos and craftsmanship, the Lamborghini Gallardo LP 560-4.
It looks exactly how I want it, and now I'm driving it in Portugal on a track. You can't ride this.
This one's got layers. It wasn't just another salvage project or a random buy, it was a personal gift to himself, a bit of a milestone car. But in true Mat fashion, the story didn't end with just enjoying its stock. After picking it up, he did what most sane people wouldn't do. He twin-turboed it. Because apparently, a stock V10 just didn't feel wild enough. And with the added boost, this Gallardo turned into something else entirely. British racing green paint, carbon doors, Superleggera wheels, every inch of it screams custom, aggressive, and intentional. It's not trying to be subtle, and it's definitely not built for calm Sunday drives. Of course, things didn't go completely to plan. Somewhere along the way, it got crashed, hard. But rather than cutting his losses, Mat rebuilt it, again. And if there's a theme with his garage, it's that these cars don't just survive, they come back better. The crash might have knocked it down, but the rebuilt version came out even more focused, more aggressive, and flat-out scary fast. That's the exact phrase he's used for it, and it's not hard to believe. Twin turbos on an all-wheel drive Gallardo is just asking for ridiculous power and the kind of acceleration that leaves your stomach behind. Next is the Rolls-Royce Wraith Mansory, probably the most unexpectedly chaotic car in Mat Armstrong's collection. And yes, it's that Wraith, the one that used to belong to Marcus Rashford before it was crashed and eventually found its way into Mat's hands. You'd think a Rolls-Royce would be the calm, classy break from all the track weapons in the garage. But no, this one's had its fair share of drama too. From the get-go, this car had a certain kind of fame attached to it. People instantly recognized it, not just because it's a Mansory-kitted Wraith, which is wild in itself, but because of its former owner and the high-profile crash that left it needing serious TLC. True to form, Mat took on the challenge, brought it back to life, and then, in classic style, started racking up his own ridiculous stories with it. The Wraith's already been on a road trip to Monaco, and somehow even made it onto a track day, which sounds completely wrong for a 2-ton luxury yacht. But that's exactly why it's brilliant. It's the car that looks like it should be parked outside a hotel in Mayfair, but ends up skimming curbs on a racetrack, or squeezing into garages it clearly wasn't built for. And then there's the whole wheel saga. At one point, Mansory actually took the wheels back. Long story short, some mix-up over the ownership or registration of the custom rims led to them being snatched. But after a bit of back and forth, they were eventually returned. Just another day in the life of this completely over-the-top car. Despite the Wraith being absolutely massive and not the most practical fit in a garage that's home to GT3s and turbocharged Lambos, Mat's keeping it. Not just because of what it is, but because of what it represents. It's sentimental now, a car with stories, adventures, and some well-earned battle scars. It's not going anywhere, even if it means shuffling other cars around to make it fit. And that's kind of perfect, isn't it? A Rolls-Royce in a garage full of race builds, not trying to blend in, just confidently doing its own ridiculous thing. Now on the flip side, there's the Audi RS6.
Audi RS6, but now, Audi want it back.
A bit more of a warhorse in Mat's collection, and definitely a car that's had its fair share of ups and downs. It was rebuilt once before, a full-on rescue job that brought it back from the brink. But as luck, or bad Audi vibes would have it, it didn't stay sorted for long. The car made it all the way to America, only to break again, because of course it did. If there's one car in Matt's fleet that's testing his patience, it's the RS6. So, if you loved diving into Mat Armstrong's world of rebuilt beasts, smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite comeback car, and subscribe for more insane celebrity car collections.